and he side of the goal man shoot. Perform this excellent finish, I do it like Kane or Lukaku. Or like Beckham.
Pass the girls that tiki-taka, that's why they call us MSA. I'm on the block like winner, back road leger, fully paid on my inner. I fly past my head, top 10 of the models, I wash like Sammy Khedira.
And I can still kick balls like Drogba, young and I've made big wins like Gossa. Too far gone, can't catch me, Costa. I'm off, pace, Costa.
3 of the best, he's made them pay, and that completes a wonderful hat-trick.
Okay, we're back. So the next one is, are Chelsea the new United? Low key. Wait, before we start this video, make sure you like,
comment, and subscribe. We would really appreciate it.
Nah.
You don't think so?
Nah,
Look,
not yet. Not yet.
We're saying
They
about
got to do it for another 10 years.
literally.
Yeah, literally that.
So funny.
Think
Post
about it.
post Abramovich era is almost like post Fergie era for them in a way. But
Yeah,
let's see how they
literally is.
bounce back. I think it's too early to say.
The sacking of Tuchel, like, I think it was so rushed given how much they spent in the summer. I think you can't spend that much and just complete, like you see with Forest. Not they didn't sack Steve Cooper after spending so much. They just
I
thought,
agree, but you got to remember the new
owner
owner
didn't
come in,
didn't bring in
didn't
Tuchel,
come in.
innit?
He didn't bring in Tuchel, so the Chelsea fans liked him, so you can't sack him straight away, and you can't not back him. You want to make an impact on the owner,
Yeah.
so you've got to spend the money, and you can't get rid of him. So like, it's either
And
I
they just took
get
the first opportunity that was possible to get rid of him there. That's why.
yeah, they don't you
signings-
don't know until you try
The
whether
signing-
you've got a good working relationship
True.
with him or not.
The signings and the window. We can now agree that the window was a big failure, in my opinion. I think their window was.
No, but it's not really fair to say that, because every time someone said Chelsea need this, Chelsea need that, he was trying his hardest to get these players.
But
United
they
get
never
random
did
signings.
No. It was similar to United. They never got their first choice players, and then they had to just look elsewhere, like Kunde.
It's similar in the case like
Lewandowski.
No,
No,
Didn't
I
get
wouldn't-
any of them.
Cucurella and Man City were battling out for him. Remember? It's
And then
like
when the
in
price
sort
got
of
too
the like
high-
Maguire and Sanchez.
Maguire
When the
and-
price got
exactly.
too high, City were
Yeah,
like, all right,
as well
cool.
in
sit
that.
down.
Yeah, I guess
Maybe
Sides in that
that's a
competition.
little similarity.
Like,
but
exactly happened there, and Cucurella, look, didn't live up to what it was meant to be so far. It looks like I can't really tell what's wrong with him right now.
I don't think it's fair to say, on top of the fact that Chelsea are also getting a new director of football,
and a lot of their signings were young
a
signings.
lot of their signings exactly for
Sterling?
Fana. No,
Koulibaly?
Sterling's for now, Koulibaly's for now, but I still think there's enough
Oba?
core.
Yeah, no, but
No,
look
but
at
the
the bulk
core-
of the money.
Yeah,
The
I know
what
bulk
you
of the
mean.
money was
And they've
to make
recently
it look like
yeah.
a massive or the most expensive transfer.
And
Yeah.
and they've recently signed Broja on a new contract. I think his potential is quite good.
I first of all don't know why he's
there's
not playing.
there's also Fofana that they spent a lot of money
Yeah.
on. They're signing these players on 6-7 year deals.
So I mean,
as well.
Fofana, Cucurella, I think they're both overperformance.
Yeah.
They're both young
They're
players.
both young. Gallagher as well. There's a bit of faith being
Do you
shown
Do
in
you think
him.
Gallagher
Pick
long
it.
term, like a Chelsea midfielder long term?
Potentially,
I don't think he's at the level to play for Chelsea.
I
to
do
be
agree
honest.
as well. I don't think he.
I don't think he is, but
think
who
he'll get there,
knows?
and then
I feel like he suits the smaller side. He
He
suits the
does.
Palace.
Yeah, I mean he does, but I mean at the same time, Chelsea's just a bit all over the place at the moment, though.
United-
I think Gallagher, no, he can't remind me of a Lampard. No way.
chance.
But I
That's
mean,
such a
Gallagher's
disrespectful-
energy can.
Hey now. Slow down, all right?
I think
It
it's
can be
almost like
utilized
a
in a
Kante.
lower side.
But behind the scenes, it looks like Chelsea are getting a lot right. Like with some of the personnel they're bringing in.
Yeah, behind
like
the
the director
scenes.
of football. Who did
Exactly.
they got? What's his name from Southampton, who was previously at Man City?
Yeah. I saw that.
I can't think of his name.
I think, and also everyone's raved about Graham Potter's style of play in
That's
Brighton.
another thing as well.
Time,
We haven't even seen a little even glimpse.
but
I
you
don't know if
can't
I've
say that. Though. That's
I
not
know
fair.
I know we say we can't say that,
He's
but even
probably
with Ten
about-
Hag, well, I do see
No,
a
he's
little bit of
probably
what
a-
Ten Hag's trying to implement.
yeah, but he's probably had double the amount of games Potter's had.
Fair enough. Like, I'm not judging Potter yet. I
And
think
the
it's far too
pre-season,
soon to judge
and
it.
the
And the
pre-season.
pre-season. Fair enough. Some of our squad wasn't even there for pre-season.
It's
bro.
proper not
Like,
fair
Yeah,
to-
but still, pre-season
No.
with
It's
half
it's not
the
fair.
players
Yeah,
is
I
better
know.
than the
100%.
pre-season.
And he hasn't had a
pre-season
window
at all.
yet to back. So I'm not judging Potter at all. I think he has loads of time, but it's question marks there.
I think
Not
Tuchel
question
had
marks,
to
but-
go. Personally, I think Tuchel had to
Form,
go.
yes, but for even his win percentage and for the trophy he brought into the club so recently.
But we
He
know
got
what
to
Chelsea's
every
like.
final
he got to every
possible.
final last year, not apart from UCL final. both finals he made outside of
Domestically,
that, and
yeah.
domestically, got in all domestic fans, and had quite a few injuries.
But
just
Chelsea
before
fans were
the
turning on him, and you could
They
sense
were, but
that.
it's
But
'cause the
then,
style of
then
football's
look, there was a lot of fans who were like, "Oh no, why is he sat Tuchel? Why is he?" I remember there was a lot
Yeah,
of that
the
as
fan
well.
base was imbalanced right now. That's why I think Potter's like I feel like there's unnecessary pressure on Potter at the moment already. Like it's brewing, and it's like, bro, you just got the job. How is there already pressure on his shoulders when you just got this? But because some of the fans like Tuchel still, that's why.
The owners are seeing a long-term project in terms of
Yes.
Chelsea
Yeah.
Football Club, and they thought that with Tuchel they weren't getting along. He even said that Tuchel, there were rumors about Tuchel wasn't falling in line with how he wanted
to manage the club.
wanted to manage the club, and how he wanted to run the club, and he was also making cheeky little comments about the ownership model at Chelsea, about they don't know football. Basically, he has to
Exactly
teach
that.
them things that you don't need to say that,
It's
especially if they're paying your wages, bro. He had to go.
No, do you know what it is? Sometimes you see foreign managers are very honest in the way they speak. Like,
Yeah,
they-
they're
like,
honest, but there's also respect that needs to be shown.
direct. Yeah, fair enough.
So
fair
I
enough.
think Chelsea are nowhere near what United are at this moment in time.
Even things like is Stamford Bridge even still a fortress as it was under Abramovich?
No, definitely not.
I wouldn't say it's not even similar to Old Trafford. Old Trafford's not really a fortress anymore. It used to be.
No,
back
no,
in the
no,
day.
no,
You
but-
would not want to go Old Trafford away in the UCL.
But Chelsea's name still holds weight. And at the end of the day, when was the last time Chelsea won a trophy? It was only a season and a half ago. United
Yeah,
haven't won a
100%,
major
no.
trophy since how long?
It's more of a I've seen
Like,
this. I've seen this
are you
before.
saying is this the start of Chelsea's?
It
Man
could
United?
well be the start.
But the problem with United is that the owners don't care. This guy's
Yeah,
showing
showing
that
that
he
he does
cares.
care.
Trying,
So he's trying his
Remember,
hardest. So
you
you
did say
can't say-
previously, will the money still be there year on year on year on, or is this just a 1 year thing, or is this just a let me make a good impression? Because you know how American owners have a bad reputation in the Premier League.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
think it could be a thing. It's like I'm just gonna do this.
That's
now.
something that is something we cannot judge.
we cannot.
yet.
Yeah,
We cannot judge that yet, but based on what we've seen so far, you
He's
can see
trying
he's
his
ready
best,
to
yeah.
back the club. And bro, even now till this day, Chelsea are still getting linked with crazily expensive players.
Yeah, they will
And
always
Kunku
be.
in January.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And Kunku-
Especially you don't see big players like that.
Yeah.
Even though that move might be for the end of the season. So
I really hope he doesn't go there. It's gonna ruin his career going to Chelsea, man.
But where should he
Such a
go
player,
though? He's
man.
not
He
a
could
style
be a
of
serious
his
player.
style of play is
I'll take him at United. I love him, Kunku.
as a false nine.
Yeah, 100%. I think he's such a player. He's so intelligent as
No,
like
he's very intelligent.
such an intelligent
still.
player.
He
Even
is.
the game the other day against Shakhtar, what a game he had in like alone. His ball is just intelligent. He's even for France. He'll probably have a good World Cup
Bundesliga
as well.
tax. I'm joking.
That's what I think some teams are afraid of though, because of the Werner thing about pulling players
No,
from
but
Bundesliga and this. But I think
technically,
he's a bit.
he could-
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
it's-
He's miles along.
It's
that.
more sound.
I
So.
think when he moves, he'll get that recognition as wow. This is a great young talent because he's quite young still as
No,
well.
he's 25 now. That's entering your
Yeah,
prime.
right in
years.
his prime years,
Yeah.
but the next move is very important for him. Very, very
Crucial.
important. He makes
Crucial.
or breaks his career really. And
Yeah,
truly.
defo.
But I've seen these signs where you get a few things wrong and then it's very hard to correct. Because now look how many players you've signed on deals where they might block pathways for others coming through, like the Orba one. I know they needed a striker, but it reeked a bit of desperation. You couldn't get Koundé, so you got a Koulibaly. And
But Tuchel wanted him in it. He got him a Tuchel style player though.
Fair enough. But then the one thing with Abramovich is when Abramovich made mistakes, he would just spend again and correct it. We need to see now if Bowley is willing to do the same. Like Torres didn't work. What do we do? Buy Costa a few years later. Like when something doesn't work, we fix it. We need to see that
Aubameyang's
same
gone
is
end of the
done.
season though. There's no
100%,
doubt.
like it hasn't worked, and I don't think it will work. I just don't.
No,
I just
it
don't
won't,
see
it won't.
innit?
Aubameyang's finished. Yeah,
Exactly. Even with the Thiago Silva's now coming to that age, Azpilicueta's coming to that age as well. I know you're saying with Fofana and they've linked to Vardio as well.
But
They'll be the-
Azpilicueta wasn't
Vardy
getting
will be
game
an
time though.
unreal
On
signing.
It would be.
Azpilicueta wasn't getting game time when Reece James was fit. So
Yeah,
I wouldn't
yeah.
even bring up Azpilicueta.
No, but I
as
mean
part of the argument.
he's leaving, and Thiago Silva will eventually have to be moved on. Koulibaly
Yeah.
probably only has a few more years left in him before he'll then need to be replaced.
And in
Their
a few more
midfield, I
years-
don't know how Loftus-Cheek still can get the Chelsea midfield. To me, I don't think he's that player. He's not that quality.
But that's based on the manager's decision. They have enough quality
these
though.
are problems that take a really long time to fix in football. Like you can't change a squad overnight. It happens over a few windows, and if it's not nipped in the bud early, you end up with a really congested squad of players that are all right. Kante, Jorginho, they come to that age now and end of their contract this summer. What happens then? The decisions that Chelsea make next are so crucial, and if you don't mess up, you get long-term problems on your books.
What about
Like what
a
United
Mason
had.
Mount then?
Mount's a difficult one. A lot of the fans they sit in one camp or the other. Even Kai Havertz is another one. He was meant to be a wonder kid, but has he actually really hit his
No,
potential?
definitely not.
Not
He's a
exactly.
fraud. No, like Kai Havertz is a fraud.
I think
I used to back
this
him.
is similar for the Nkunku thing.
I used to love him at Liverpool.
I used to love
when you pick the wrong club
Football
to go
manager,
to,
man.
it's raps.
Football manager. He was
No, Kai
my
Havertz was
go-to.
one of my favorite players at Chelsea for a bit.
It's a product of picking the wrong club to go to.
No. But I just feel like once the system settles down with the Graham Potter, sorry. I always say
Remember the
Potters,
G
yeah. I got G-check for that. But once the system settles down, once Todd Boy, he only came a few months ago.
Yeah, it's
not
really
fair.
hard
It's
to
so
judge.
early.
It's hard,
judge.
but it's the way and the manner that of how he came. It's like
In
he
other
tried.
words, he's just got PTSD from being a United fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I've seen the
yeah.
story about how it plans out.
I think Chelsea will be fine. I honestly think so. I mean, Newcastle, you could say, wow, Newcastle straight away.
Yeah,
Eddie
Newcastle
Howe,
showed the
they're getting
difference of how
them
it's meant to be done,
earnest. Yeah,
basically,
they're getting it done perfectly.
But then again, they started from a lower level, so
that's
it's
what I'm
easier to
saying.
look
That's what I was.
impressive when you're doing that.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Newcastle aren't Chelsea.
Like Chelsea
Football
can't
Club.
sign Callum Wilson. Like, do you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
Chelsea's
Like,
a far bigger football club. There's more pressures in Chelsea than there is at a Newcastle. Newcastle are starting from the bottom. Let's be real. Like
anything's gonna be a
anything,
plus on
exactly
anything's
that.
Bruce just
you get it?
scraping relegation.
Anything's a
survival,
plus
so.
for them. With Chelsea, it's about staying at that same level. Newcastle are trying to go.
Which is
they
the
can
hardest
only
thing
go
in
up from the
football.
bottom of the table.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's what you're
Bro, there's so many quotes about staying at the top is very hard. Like
very
it's
hard.
very hard. So
But
for Chelsea,
even where Chelsea's squad is at, they have quite a deep squad, but it's deep with players where you're like, are they the
I do think there's a lot of
long-term-
players where you got to look at.
And
It's,
you
they're
got,
coming to
like,
the end of
yeah,
their
you
cycle.
gotta put them in
Like
a-
Jorginho, Kante,
Thiago
Silva,
Azpilicueta.
Silva,
you would say Chelsea do have Deadwood.
Koulibaly.
Yeah, Deadwood, yeah.
Ain't
They
gonna
have
be like
quite a
for
bit of it
5
where
years.
you're like, Pulisic, like, is he your long-term guy?
No, Pulisic is shit still.
Ziyech is still on the books.
He's
Like,
shit
do you
as
get
well.
it? Sarr, I think, is still on the books. Malang Sarr is still on the books as well for Chelsea.
He's
Monaco.
He's young,
player.
I know,
when
but
he
like,
come in last
is
season,
he
he
who
didn't.
you want? Like, they sold Geki instead and Tomori, but then you kept Sarr. Like, it's these small decisions that they are hard to rectify in a long term.
But that's too
if
cool.
you're
That's
not managing
under.
correctly.
That's not under.
I know it's not under.
but that's not
But
under
that was under-
Bowley and not
but
under
yeah.
thingy.
these things, I mean, it probably the same as the United situation. It didn't
I remember
all
there was a
happen under when
conversation
Ajax
as well.
left. It was years before that.
But I honestly think because Bowley, basically what I'm trying to say is Bowley can sell these players and not feel the effects of it.
If he wants to be that type of owner, like
because
Abramovich, that's what Abramovich
it's not
would
even
do.
it's not even just that, because at the end of the day he's a new owner. He didn't
So it's
buy
not
these
his
players.
cost.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
at his cost. It's at the other players' expense. I mean, at the
Yeah.
other owner's expense. So if he decided to put Pulisic or Ziyech on the market 10 mil, I mean, I don't think he would care. So I think even getting the
First.
Deadwood wouldn't be too hard. And they're still at a decent age
But
in their
remember,
career.
with the one that goes out, another needs to come in with players, because you need to still have a fight, like a set amount of players. For the
And
squad.
based on what
Is
we see, we can see that he's ready to spend the money to
Yeah.
replace those players.
100%, but if
Exactly.
you're saying selling them for a cutthroat price, he has to be so cool with cash loss in to then replace them with.
That's
better
what I'm
quality.
saying.
But
Based
he's
on what
saying
we've
based
seen,
on what we've seen so
based
far.
on
What
what
we're
we've
saying,
seen,
how much
Chelsea's
money
Deadwood
he
is
put-
quite heavy though.
it's quite heavy. But
Yeah, so
based on
that's-
what we've seen, he spent 270 something million in
100%.
the recent
But if we're
window.
naming players, that's maybe like 8-9 players that need to be dipping. That's a
Yeah, but
lot. To
Yeah, but he's
realistically-
already still replaced some of
Realistically,
these players.
that's not
as
going
well.
to all happen in one
in one
window.
window,
It
yeah,
won't
yeah.
happen
But it's
in
about
one window as
correcting
well,
that
exactly.
consistently, yeah. And I've seen what happens where like one thing goes another. If you get like an injury or a player moves clubs, that's another step back. You have to be
And-
very careful with their next moves basis.
And also, Chelsea still have very quality players in that side. It's not
100%.
like they don't have quality. They still do. It's just all about finding the right system. Give Graham Potter's time.
Yeah,
on top of the
exactly
fact that,
exactly
yeah, they
that.
still need a few windows. I mean,
think
look
they
at
need
what
to
Arsenal
solidify
with
from 11
Arteta.
first.
There's
in
also the
particular.
chance that Potter actually could not work. Like there is
There's
that
also
chance.
and
another
that will
risk
also
there.
then with all that spending, it upsets the next person.
But
like you say.
he hasn't had a window yet.
Yeah,
so
he hasn't
none
yet,
of
so
that
we don't know
spending's
what
been
it's
with
gonna
him.
be
Yeah.
done.
But
Yeah.
that's what we're saying. So you don't know. He could work. He might not work. But one thing he does need is time. At the
Time.
bare minimum.
He
Definitely
it's,
time.
It's a point where they're on a very shaky bridge where like the wrong move will actually collapse the bridge because Potter hasn't managed a club this size yet. So there are difficulties with that. In particular, the United game, he went into that. I think it was quite naive of him to think that he could get away with playing a certain midfield with a midfield two only and dominate ball and possession of that, and he had to change that in the middle of the game. A substitution he didn't really want to make against Arsenal. It's like they didn't turn up. It was very, very like.
Would you say that's his
poor.
fault?
The tactics does play a bit into that. Come on, the
I
tactics
do think
tactically. Go on.
He plays a back three with wing backs. When you're missing your starting left wing back and right wing back.
Fair. I also think
it's very tough.
I think long term he wants to play 4 at the back.
Yeah,
though.
I think they only play 3 at the back.
Remember when Arteta first came into Arsenal, he had to compensate.
Yeah.
I mean, he had to
play that 3 at the back
adapt
system.
That's
because of what he's got.
We don't know what Graham Potter wants to do yet. Like, he's probably managed about 6 Chelsea games.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, but he that's what I'm saying. Definitely needs to be given time. But I also think Thiago Silva is the reason probably why they play back 3.
I don't think that that Bowley will have a problem given in time.
Yeah, Bowley won't.
It's more from the outside.
Chelsea fans know as well. They turn on managers so fast.
I think it's more from the outside, us looking in at Chelsea, where media will spin it like, "Oh, Chelsea ain't used to this. Chelsea need to be winning. Chelsea must get top 4."
But these are
like,
Bowley
might look at this. The Bowley might look at this and not care. He might be like, "Look, don't worry, I'm backing you. I'm giving you time." Similarly to Arsenal with Arteta,
I think
with the outside influence, you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, the outside influence is crucial, but I think
needs time. That's 100%.
I think Potter will follow the same way Arteta did. Arteta didn't give a shit about what anyone was saying to him about outside, about Arteta about the media.
That's what I'm saying.
Arsenal's never really been a sacking managers club. Chelsea's been notorious for that. So they turn on their manager a lot faster than any other club.
No, but that's the old ownership model, though.
But they're still the same fans.
No, but they have the same fans. That doesn't mean shit. Arsenal have the same fans.
Arsenal
fan pressure is quite heavy for a lot of things, man.
Arsenal fans at one point, even this guy was 100% get Arteta out of my club.
No, not all the time, though.
No, but I'm saying there was fan pressure.
Yeah,
there was right to be so, because there was a period where results were terrible. Yeah. But as long as the owner, you're like, all right, just don't worry about that. You're my man. Yeah. We're backing you.
Exactly. You can't talk about fan pressure. Look at Arsenal, bro. It was even on Amazon. Though. He's got to go. Like
there's
so many fans. You can't say that, bro.
I think fan pressure at Chelsea just complete different with the manager. I don't know when the manager out. The manager's gone.
No, it's not Chelsea fans that ever wanted the manager out like that. It was always, if anything, it was always Chelsea fans going, "Oh, I don't think Abramovich should have got rid of him." And then they accept. Then the new manager comes in, gets top 4, and wins a trophy, and they're like, maybe they've made the right decision.
That's what it
is. I don't know if Chelsea's they've not bought into an idea of a project in football for a long time.
Like he's saying, different ownership.
They have to the whole Chelsea fan base, ownership and manager need to buy into that concept that it's going to take more time than they're probably used to in general to get Chelsea back to where they should be, really. I don't think it's going to be a simple pathway, and you're going to have upsets.
So do you think Todd Bowley's going to follow the old ownership model? Is that what you're basically saying? That's what you're trying to say.
I think the fans will expect him to, but he's probably going to try own it in his way, like by the cycle.
Exactly. And if
he's not managed a football club before, we don't know whether his way is going to be the right
he's not,
way.
But he's getting a director of football.
We can't judge
right now,
what we don't know.
There's a lot of small. If Chelsea makes small mistakes, they will have long-term issues. Basically, what I'm saying. And it's about being very careful in this new phase.
That's the nature of the game, though, isn't it?
You're saying it's easy.
They could go into. You're saying
it's easy that they could go into a spell like United's been on for the past.
If they don't make the right decision now, it'll be very easy to slip into that where you're constantly chasing previous mistakes.
But that's what I said earlier in this.
With the owners,
the owners don't care at United, and you've mentioned that they don't give a shit. At least now, Bodie's trying to rectify these mistakes very early by getting a director of football. He realised, you know what, I can't do this myself. Let me actually get a director of football who knows more about the game of football that can help me out, that can maybe see where this project may be going. So for me, you can't compare United and Chelsea.
Not yet, 100% not. But
can't.
I've seen this pattern. I've seen it. We had a director of football technically as well. Well, not director of football, but we had someone that was in charge of football and affairs.
Ed Woodward.
Come on, I know someone who wasn't familiar with the game at all. But not every signing, like we will say, not every signing will be a success. We don't know necessarily where things will go. It's just it's unstable ground. They need to be just tread carefully, basically.
Fair enough. It looks like with the signings, I'd say with the majority of the signings they made and the managerial choice they made, it looks like they want to lean towards a project. So.
They're leaning towards a project. Thank you.
I'll say it's half. I don't say majority. I'll say half of their signings, really.
I'd say other than Koulibaly and Sterling, no other.
Those are two crucial signings.
They're like two crucial.
They cost quite a bit of money.
But the majority of the majority of the signings,
it might be a waste of money.
The majority of the signings were young players. Kukurea, who's the other one we said earlier?
Fofana.
They signed a young centre mid from Chukwueze from Villa. Inter Milan's young centre mid.
Chukwuemeka, sorry.
But I just feel like just give Potter time.
They do, and everyone needs to buy into that fact. It's not going to happen overnight.
It won't. The brand of football.
No. I was just laughing.
But yeah, no, I think Chelsea are definitely like they'll be back in it. Just give them time, and I think as much as it doesn't really pay me to say I don't really care about Chelsea, but I think Chelsea are a team that they're funny. They've always had these kind of moments where you think they're falling off and then they'll come back up. I know it's a different ownership model.
Just remember, you can't get onto a second team like that.
Chelsea are my second team, bro. I hate Chelsea, fam. Chelsea rent boys.
Do we hate Tottenham Derby? Yeah. Anyway, that's that done.
Fair enough. That'll be that.